Now this morning, ladies and gentlemen, I went along to my local Cineworld to watch Predator Badlands to an auditorium of 5 other people. But before I give you my review today, here's the understated reaction of John Campier.
Oh my God, Predator Badlands is so much fun.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, John, but for me, I thought it was very cute. And that's the best thing I can say about this film. Am I saying it in relation to the lovely Elle Fanning? Well, maybe, but more of her later on.
Yes, hallelujah, it's the video show. And now, the man the BBC calls...
Jason King on Kung Fu Hot Dog.
So the lead character, called Deck, but we might call him Dick eventually, has to prove to his father, who we're going to call
Captain Cuntface too.
That's exactly what he is, and I'll tell you why in a minute too. So again, if you don't want spoilers, don't watch this review until you get back from the theater. Deck is the runt of the pack. He's the outcast. He's a weakling compared to his older brother, Kwai. But in a fit of rage, as most bad fathers are these days, and I'm talking to you black fathers in Brixton, he wants his runt of a son to be executed by his own brother, Kwai. The same Kwai, not to be confused with the Alec Guinness film Bridge on the River Kwai, is the one to be the executioner. But in a strange twist of fate, we know what's going to happen. The older brother turns on the father. He himself gets executed by the douchebag dad. And of course now, it's time for Deck, who couldn't save his brother, to go on a mission of revenge. But of course, thanks to the brave actions of his brother Kwai, Deck escapes in the Predator spaceship to the planet of Kyle Jenner. Sorry, that's Genner. He doesn't even get a chance to breathe or take a shit or even a piss, because this planet is filled with organisms that want to kill you as soon as you take a sniff in the neighborhood. But of course, when we talk about sniffing, folks, the lovely Elle Fanning, who we see as one of 2 characters, because yes, it emerges she's got a twin sister of sorts called Tessa. Sadly not played by Tessa Thompson.
Oh man. Oh God, oh man, oh God, oh man. Oh.
I would have absolutely have loved that piece of meta referencing if they'd shoved it in there, but nope, it's just an uglified version of Elle Fanning, who is a bit more evil and twisted, but there you have it. But before you know it, Thea has already understood why Deck is on her planet, because she's a bit of a biologist researcher, if you know what I mean. Her and her sister Tessa have gone out on these missions, but in case you want to know why Thea is chopped in half, because the Kalisk is the same thing, which obviously Deck is after to bring its skull back to his father and to prove his worthiness of the Youch tribe, the Youch being what the Predators are actually known by. So reluctantly, she becomes a backpack for Deck's troubles, walking along, hardy. Honestly, I would have loved a pushback to Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Raindrops keep falling on my head. But we don't get any of that. But of course now this becomes more than a buddy road trip, because we've got Bud the monkey, this strange thing that they find in the forest that tags along with them for a bit of a jolly old ride. Bud, by the way, is very significant. I won't give away what that particular reason is. You have to go watch the film to find out. Now the action in this movie is pretty good. For a PG-13, but there's no Paul Greengrass style camera shakes and edits. It's just very straightforward. You can see what's going on. I think the actors behind the costumes do a really good job of convincing us they're badass, fierce warriors. But when it comes to fighting the Wayland Yutani synths much later on, they're okay. They feel like spongy enemies. 1 or 2 do put up a bit of a fight, but it's a bit underwhelming. So I guess we have that PG rating to thank for it. But honestly, if Dan Trachtenberg, the director, calls himself a fan of everything that is pop culture, then the approach I would have taken if I was given the responsibility of directing this movie is to use Doom 2016 by far the best game of the entire series of titles, because imagine that, a Doom-like presence in a really god-awful world where you're slashing down enemies from hell, and the enemies here feel very underwhelming. They're all part of the forest. There's no ground level enemies that I could say would be worthy of a big fight like you'd find in Doom 2016, right? So it did lose its footing there, and in terms of the actual overall tone of this movie, it feels very cutesy. It's very Disney-fied. It's like John Hughes's Baby's Day Out, which, by the way, as a PG film in itself, is more violent than what you see in this film. And that's what people always keep telling you. Oh, don't worry, dude. It's a PG-13 Predator Badlands. But there's so much savagery and decapitation and knives through chests. But don't worry, it's not real people. This is just aliens and synthetics. So it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. And this might leave people underwhelmed. Certainly I was, because at the end of the day, when I watch a Predator movie, I want to make sure that I'm seeing a Predator movie who kills without malice and not display feelings afterwards, because there are a couple of moments in this film where it's almost like watching Jesse Pinkman from Breaking Bad breaking down in therapy and revealing his true feelings about people he's hurt along the way. So if you want a bit of a laugh in respect to that, then I will say good luck, and you might end up enjoying the film better than I did. Do you need to see the other Predator Alien franchise movies to watch this film? Not really, but they do make a reference to AVP. Now, the AVP films, obviously from 2004 and 2009, I believe. The first one is just called AVP and the second one is Requiem. I've ordered those today from HMV because I want to watch them, because I've heard there are a few good instances where the Predators are concerned, because let's face it, the aliens are a bunch of wankers at the end of the day. Everybody likes the Predators more than the aliens, because with the Predators at least you can see they have some really almost human-like qualities, and in fact this Predator feels like John McTiernan's 1987 film, like John Rambo in the Jungle, where he has to heal himself every time he gets injured, because like Arnie says,
if it bleeds, we can kill it.
But my overall verdict on Predator Badlands is this. I get a good eyeful of Elle Fanning. She looks absolutely stunning and plays the dual roles, if you want to call them that, of Thea and Tessa really, really well. But I will say there's a bit of a nitpick I've got to make here, because both the synthetics answer to somebody called Mother, M-U-T-H-U-R.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
And she gives the impression that she's this all-seeing, all-being who dictates the mission parameters for our two fearless marine biologists. But in one instance, Tessa lies to Mother about the yacht called Deck. And I thought to myself, but surely Mother must know that she's been lied to? And if she knew this, why didn't she do anything? So maybe she really is a mysterious woman behind the desk who we don't see. So I thought that was a little bit odd, but there's a moment of Elle Fanning's which I truly do appreciate, where in the third act of the film, she's lying on her back and looking away from the camera, but let's just say the camera likes looking at her for quite a bit, and I truly appreciated that. But I will say the ending of this film will leave a lot of hardcore fans divided, because it's definitely got the Disney treatment. Trust me, it has, because we've got our three fearless heroes, Deck, Thea, and Bud Light the monkey, because like that can of beer, he is truly blue in the face. And people talk about this one line at the very end that Deck says. I mean, it had John Campion and Robert Meyer Burnett laughing so much, because
Leave even 30 seconds early, because it, to me, is the best final line in a movie I've heard in years.
So
that just killed me.
and also, it kind of came out of left field.
it's a line, it's a piece of dialogue that you think something like The Predator wouldn't come out with, but they do. Now, I sat there, and after I saw the line, because obviously the Predator is speaking with subtitles, I thought it's amusing but it definitely does not deserve the high praise it's received from Campia and Co. Because I thought, are these guys on drugs? What are they talking about? It's like they've been sniffing too much methane behind the scenes of their daily live stream show on YouTube. So honestly, can I recommend Predator Badlands? I would recommend it less than Shane Black's The Predator from 2018. I know that film gets a lot of shit, but honestly, I would rather go back and watch that and compare it to this and see which one is actually the worst title in the franchise. I mean, they don't even talk about Predators with Adrian Brody. That's a badass movie. Yeah, you could say it's a very loose remake of the 1987 classic, because again, you're pitting the most badass Marines in a jungle engaging in warfare with this alien, or rather the Predator. But if I were you, gentlemen, and if you were me, I would go to a website like Zavi or HMV, maybe even Amazon, and order the newly released with the additional title of Prey from 2022 or the 4K Predator movies, which I think is worth your time and money. And you can watch these films back to back and decide which one deserves to be on your trophy wall and which one deserves to be in the dustbin. And I'm going to bank that Badlands will be the one that ends up in there, along with probably Shane Black's The Predator from 2018. But I'll catch you, ladies and gentlemen, catching me for the return of, I think I'm about to burp here, the next video.